you have to trust your imagination, right?
Mm.
You're being asked, you're being tasked. And I'm not going to let the Marvel fans down, damn it, right? Like that is, if there's ever a fan base I'm not going to mess with, I'm part of it.
Congratulations on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It is phenomenal. What an amazing bookend to the great Marvel trilogy, Guardians of the Galaxy by James Gunn. First question I have for you guys is, did you create backstories for your characters and their connection to the High Evolutionary? Or did James Gunn talk to you about their backstories at all? And we could start with either one of you guys.
I like to create backstories. It helps me as an actor. It's also fun, and I'm a dorky sci-fi nerd. So I've already created so many backstories for every character, every sci-fi movie I've ever seen, because we write dissertations. It's what we do. It's what we do. So yeah, I mean, James talked a little bit, right, about zealots, believers, people who believe in this cause that the High Evolutionary and he as the creator, and I really viewed Recorder Vim as a zealot, but also as a sort of someone who believed she could be an observer and wasn't going to get emotionally involved, someone who's almost a scientist or was a scientist about it, so that she could divorce herself from culpability, maybe.
Sure.
I think that's what people who are zealots in that way do, well, it's a higher cause. So, that was kind of the work that I did, Nico.
Awesome.
Well, I mean, adding to that layer with Teal, I think with Teal it was more also about his proximity to power, and he's a survivalist. He's like he doesn't want to end up being killed by the High Evolutionary. So whatever he needs to do, whatever bidding he needs to, to do for the High Evolutionary, as long as he survives, he will do it. And like I said, his proximity to power to the High Evolutionary, that's why I think he's so evil and so comfortable being evil, is that nobody's going to mess with Teal when you got this guy protecting you, so you're going to be evil all the way.
Yeah. Look, James Gunn is a phenomenal director. He's really seen through from Guardians 1 all the way to Volume 3. He's seen this trilogy to its completion. Nico, can you talk to me a little bit about James Gunn's directing style, what that added to Volume 3 and what the tone was on set, being that it was the last one?
The tone, I mean, like it's always a crapshoot when you walk into movies like this, when it's an established franchise, a legendary director like James with a cast full of movie stars. You just don't know what you're going to get and how welcoming the set was going to be. And it was just from day one of the most welcoming sets I've ever, been to. It was very, very collaborative. There was never a sense of, we were never made to feel stupid if we had a question to ask, if we needed something to help our performance or something for the scene. Like as long as it was, sort of for the end goal of creating this amazing movie, you were just allowed to play and whatever you needed was given to you, which was such, that is not the case usually. So it was very, very wonderful to be in an environment like that.
Yeah, it's not a given that kind of generosity and openness is going to be there, but it really was. Yeah. You can tell he's a fan.
Yeah,
he's really a lover of this genre, and that this speaks to this kind of storytelling.
Yeah, absolutely. And also I think that it helps coming from a horror background where he didn't have large budgets and he was able to make a lot out of a little. And I think that just really shines through in the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. Miriam, question for you. I think Chuck is brilliant as the High Evolutionary. This is one villain that is just like the worst of the worst, right? And I think that like out of all the Marvel cinematic villains, this might be my favorite. Can you talk to me about working with Chuck as the High Evolutionary? And was he intimidating when he put on the makeup and you saw him on set?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, what you should know about Chuck is that he's a delight of a human. He's just kind. He's just, he's dreamy. And he's a brilliant actor. Yes. He comes to stage, he can do anything. He really can. And so getting to work with an actor like that is just the fun, that's what you want to do. And I come from stage too. So, he wasn't afraid to let the stakes be as high as possible. You don't have to, you can be funny, which we all are in the James Gunn universe, but you're not making fun of it. The stakes are real. The story matters, you know, and it's so fun to play in that way, you know, and that was what it was like to work with him, because he elevated every scene he was in, you know, and he wasn't afraid to give it every ounce of his emotional truth. So then it makes you do that. And then it just makes it such a joy. It's so thrilling, you know, it's really thrilling. It's really, really fun. You just feel like you're on a ride. And that's why you do it, you know? So it was so fun for me. There were times when James was like, make it Shakespearean. And Chuck and I were like, oh yeah.
You got it. He is like, you know, you can prepare for the character as much as, you know, as much as you can, but, you know, something happens when you get on set and you sort of like see what your scene partners are sort of giving you, and you're sort of then able to recalibrate and be like, then that last piece of the puzzle makes sense of how you're supposed to portray your character. And that's what it was like working with Chuck and Miriam. It's like, I just read it on the page and I got a sense of it, but it wasn't until we were on set and you saw their performances and you were just like, oh, I gotta up my game because I am working with these two people who are just amazing. So
dude, your game was already up here. Your game was high.
Look, both of you guys are phenomenal in this film. You know what? Speaking of that, Nico, and getting into your character and trying to get as much as you can from your character, can you talk? And this is one thing I love about James Gunn is the practical stuff. So can you talk a little bit about the practical makeup that you would put on to help you get into your character a little bit more?
You know, we were just talking about this. There was something about doing all the prosthetics that once, you know, it was like this morning ritual. Like you sort of like, the first thing you do is get to the hair trailer and they, you know, do your haircut. And then you sort of prepare yourself to sit down on a chair for 2.5 hours to sort of, you know, like piece by piece, lay this character on you. And this is my first time playing this type of character. So for me, it's sort of like, I already got a big sense of who the character was going into set, but there was something about playing this character where you slowly sort of layer on the actual physical attributes of what this character looked like. And then by the end of that makeup session and you're fully done up, you're just like, oh, there he is. There's that evil bastard.
Then you walk onto those sets. You cannot believe what it feels like to walk onto those sets. You're like, oh, so you just made a spaceship, then we're flying in it. That's
right. Yeah.
Live one. Okay, good to know. Like,
yeah. It was like doing Broadway. I was like, what is this? Broadway?
I mean, honestly, beyond that, it was like you were there.
Right.
Yeah.
The level of artistry is shocking. I love all the practical things. There's a scene, I don't know, we can do this. I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a scene, a pivotal scene for my character. And there is a creature in it who's flying the plane.
Yes.
We could not stop laughing at the amazingness of that creature. I was like, stop the presses. What is happening? What is this? What? There were so many times when James would like give that creature direction where we could like not continue the scene because it was just too gleeful.
You know what?
This is also my first time working in this genre. So you hear all these stories of just like, you're just working with a blue screen, you're acting with sticks and stuff like that. But with this one, you know, people were in costume and makeup and there was so much things that was tangible that you could hold and feel and touch and talk to that really added to, I think, our performances because it was just easy to play off of.
That's actually what I wanted to kind of ask you about next is what did you learn from your time on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that you want to take with you to maybe your future or next projects?
You know, I think you have to trust your imagination, right? Mm. You're being tasked. And I'm not going to let the Marvel fans down, damn it, right? Like that is, if there's ever a fan base I'm not going to mess with, I'm part of it. So I'm not messing with it. I think I learned to trust myself. And I think that's every job in some ways that you learn a little bit more to trust yourself. But this one was like, no. Trust that you can take the stakes to where they are, to the highest they can go. And there's, you know, believe in the like emotional truth of the story. and remember to trust that, you know, because it's a lot. There's a lot going on. It's as Marvel can get in some of those moments. And you know, Nico and I talk about like having like an out of body experience and trying to like stay in it, you know, because you're also like a fan, like, oh my God, look what's happening. This is incredible.
Incredible. Well, look,
that's true. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for your time. This film is incredible. I can't wait to watch it with my family because they haven't seen it yet. I have, but it's incredible. What an incredible journey. Thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.